Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel, Southern Tea. It's the girl, Lady J, back bringing you, my commentary on the latest female rap, urban news sometimes. So before I get into my video, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit that thumbs up, comment, share, and baby, you already here to get a sip of my commentary, so you might as well subscribe to the channel, baby. The first topic I want to slide into real quick is Hot Spice, okay, aka Ice Spice, but I like to call her Hot Spice because the girl popping like fish grease right now, baby. Do you hear me? So word on the streets is Hot Spice's song with the old girl Pink Pantheress is now sitting pretty in the top 10 this week, making this both of their first top 10 hit, which is a big deal. So congrats to Hot Spice and the Pink Panther. For Hot Spice to have only popped off about 7 or 8 months ago, drop a project that debuts in the top 30 on Billboard, sold over 100K units, which we're going to get into in just a minute, and has managed to get at least 2 out of 6 songs from the EP to chart on Billboard within the first week of drop is a pretty big deal for a bitch who only decided to start picking up a microphone and rapping about a year ago, baby. Do you hear me? Okay. So right now, The Boys Are Liars record is sitting at number 4. Okay, so it's in the top 5. So let me know how y'all feel about Hot Spice getting her first top 10 after only rapping for about a year, chill. Okay. Let me know what you think, how you feeling, because I'm sure gonna let you know my 2 cents. I think Hot Spice done found the formula. I think she done found her knack, and I think Hot Spice has taken notes out of any of the rap girls. She has taken more notes from Doja Cat more than any of them, okay? And she is smart for doing that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Notice how all of the girls who drop their music, mind their business, and respect Onika without wanting something in return, all of their careers are thriving, okay? Really flourishing. The mainstream rap girls anyway, okay? Not the ones that are talented but not getting a push, okay? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about mainstream. Doja Cat is the only mainstream female rapper that has not come out and shaded Nicki Minaj or dissed her in any way for a come up in her career, unlike Latto, Koi, Cardi, and Megan. Doja Cat sent Nicki damn near 3 or 4 features for the Planet Her album, all of which Nicki turned down. And Doja Cat still has not shaded or dissed Nicki because of it. In fact, she continues to give credit on red carpets and in interviews as it pertains to Nicki Minaj being her biggest inspiration, because regardless if she got a feature or not, that don't change the fact that her music and her music style is heavily influenced by Nicki Minaj. Let's not play Stevie Wonder to the bullshit and act like Nicki don't have the whole female rap game in a chokehold. Let's not act like the majority of female rap fans are barbs, or at least can respect and acknowledge Nicki Minaj's talent and impact to the rap game, okay? So to go up against Nicki is going to cost you, and it will cost you every time, not because she's some sort of gatekeeper or has a powerful label or industry backing her. In fact, it's the opposite, because she was blackballed for the longest time. The real reason going up against Onika is going to cost that ass every time is because Nicki has the biggest and best fan base out of all of the female rap girls, and I do mean all of them. Hell, out of a lot of artists out here, period, including compared to a lot of these pop stars. Nicki's fan base is just that impactful. Let's keep it a buck. So I think Ice Spice is moving smart and strategic, and I think being neutral is something that a lot of these girls can take can take a play from. Okay, I think all of them should start off neutral, because picking a side, it's a slippery slope. Okay. Also, like I said earlier, her EP has now sold over 100,000 units in the U.S. alone, which is better than what some of these girls' first, second, and third projects did in the first month after its release, because that's how long her EP been out, literally a month. So 4 weeks, and she has managed to sell 100,000 units. Congrats to her, 'cause that's a big fucking deal. I think Ice Spice knows the right things to do and to say to stay likable and ultimately out the way, but yet relevant. And that is the reason I think she seems to be getting such an organic type of attention when it comes to captivating her audience and honing in on her fan base, because ultimately that's what it's all about. And I think a lot of artists have seemed to forgot that. Having fans that will actually buy and support your music. If you're so worried about chasing a hit, yeah, you might get your hit, but what happens after that? What happens when it's time to drop an album or go on tour? What fans will want to support your project and actually buy your music, not just stream it, but buy it? How you expect to sell out a tour with no fans willing to show up and show out for you? These girls so focused on being that bitch that, they're not actually honing in on growing an actual fan base. They just want to slap a name to an imaginary ass fan base, like jackpots, okay? Just to say they have a fan base, but you just can't compete where you don't compare, because the music is selling triple bricks. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know your thoughts on that topic below. So the next topic I want to slide into is Bia. So the other day I noticed fans were calling out Bia because they felt like she was kind of jacking Ice Spice's flow. Because the other day on TikTok, she kind of previewed the song she got up in the stash. And she was asking the people, to rate the song. And a lot of people in the comments was like, this kind of sounds like Hot Spice. All right, so I'm gonna let you take a real quick listen to it in case you have not heard it already.
Fuck it, I lay you, I'm doing the race. Fuck it, I lay you, yeah. Fuck it, I lay you, I'm doing the race. What do you mean when you give me your word? I will not future the be as a hers. I cannot bend in the things I deserve. You tell me riding outside of...
So I'm gonna stop it there because, you know, in case you drop it, I don't want to get copyrighted, child. But let me know what you think about it. Now, before I give my 2 cents, let me just say, for one, Bia been out for a minute, okay? When I say a minute, I mean at least a good 10 years, okay, for one. And I say that to say, if you are familiar with Bia, you know she's always sounded kind of cool and laid back on the beat. She always kind of had that whisper rap to her. And she always, like I said, sound cool and laid back on the beat, much like how Hot Spice does. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say I heard the snippet and Ice Spice didn't come across my mind at all, because she most definitely did. However, I do not think whatsoever that Bia quote-unquote stole Ice Spice's sound or flow. I think Bia always sounded the way she been sounding, and now that there's a new mainstream rap girlie in the picture who also dabbles in that sound, now people want to come for Bia saying she copying. I just don't think there was a mainstream rap girl with that sound, okay, that was out. Because nobody, with all due respect, I love Bia, but she's not mainstream. And a lot of people aren't familiar with her sound. So I think them seeing this new mainstream rap girl for the first time, having a sound similar to Bia, those who are not familiar with Bia are now coming for her saying she's copying when that's not the case. At least I don't feel that way. If anything, Ice Spice could have been kind of inspired by Bia's whisper rap because Enchanting, Ruby Rose, and Callie all kind of got that same thing going on with them too. They all sound a little similar because they got that whisper rap sound going on where it's kind of smooth and laid back, okay? But I don't think it made it any better that Bia was doing the whole whisper rap thing over a drill type beat, which would only fuel the comparisons to Ice Spice even more. Because if it's one thing Hot Spice has established by now, it is her sound, and drill beats is definitely her thing. But I don't know. Let me know how you feel about it down below. So the next topic I want to slide into is Remy Ma, okay? Because Remy Ma took her bald ass on the Jason Lee show. And need I say, they exposed and confirmed tea that Onika Tanya already spilled years ago, okay? Such as these miserable ass hoes being up in these group chats mumbling and cackling about the queen of rap while their careers continue to flourish on a goddamn flow. So the first thing that I want to address is how Jason Lee brought up the fact that Cardi B changed her profile picture to Remy Ma amidst her Twitter beef with JT. Because Nicki Minaj changed her profile pic to a photo of JT during that whole debacle. And because Cardi B is pressed about everything Nicki Minaj does, she too changed her profile pic to take a dig at Nicki, which Nicki, of course, responded back by changing her photo to a photo of her holding her pen up, you know, to let Cardi know she need to go write some shit, okay? Now that I have refreshed your memory, this is what was said during the interview with Jason Lee and Remy Ma.
Cardi was here on the show, and there was a question I forgot to ask her. Why she make you as her Twitter profile? Your face is still up there. Then I thought about why she did it. Because she was into it with an old girl, and then you was into it with the other old girl, and it was just the most pettiest. Y'all are all just petty. Isn't that? And the fact that
I didn't even do nothing.
And the fact
I didn't even tell her. I would pick
you caught her straight for no reason. Like you at home chilling with your kids.
Oh, I ain't catch her straight. Hold up, be clear now. I ain't catching nothing. I was like this. I was at home like this.
Do you be looking at your
waiting like this? With my notifications on. Oh.
So let me know what you think about it. Now, Jason Lee knows what he is doing by bringing this up, and he is definitely messy for it. Now, Remy did kind of dance around the question to where she really wasn't trying to get into it like that, which, you know, I can kind of appreciate. But the fact that she didn't really outright check Jason, okay, at any point in the interview was kind of a bit telling. Even though she kind of got irritated a bit, she never really checked him. The fact that Jason wants to bring Nicki Minaj up or at the least allude to her in some type of way, but not say her name is very telling, okay? Because we all know her name ring bells. But since you can't outright say it, you allude to her to bring some type of traction to this dead-ass interview to get the people talking. But it, you know, only goes to prove that these bitches can only remain relevant when Nicki Minaj is the topic of conversation, okay? Jason Lee, messy ass, also brought up the Latte and Nicki beef, of course, and he brought up the Foxy Brown. Okay. Now, Jason Lee bringing up all these topics because, again, he knows he needs some type of traction to turn heads for this interview because, let's keep it a buck, Nobody really checking for Remy Ma like that these days. Let's just keep it all the way a stack. The only time Remy's name really be making headlines is when Nicki Minaj's name is also the topic of conversation. Now, a lot of people didn't realize that Foxy and Remy had a little beef, but they do, and it's been going on for years. And the fact that Remy cannot keep the same energy for Foxy in this interview like she has online just goes to show how not about it she really is to me. Because, babe, why you want to speak on your beef with Nicki at any given moment, but you don't want to publicly speak on the issue with you and Foxy? Because there's been so many time instances of her speaking on the Nicki beef, but you won't speak on the Foxy beef. So this is what was said in the interview.
Kim, that whole era, Kim, the brat. You put Foxy up there? Or she ain't done no?
You don't like Foxy? Is she really deaf? Because somebody told me the other day she was going deaf or went deaf. I'll be out the loop.
No, it's funny when somebody's your friend and they know who you don't. They know you, and then they say,
"Oh, he's just trash." I was thinking, I was just finna name that era, so that's my bad.
it doesn't even matter to me. Like I really don't give. Like
Bronx people are so. Why are y'all like that?
Like what? Because why you playing with real? I just had a whole conversation about that.
Show me the paperwork.
So it's giving, I want to give my attention to the bitch whose name gonna ring bells and turn heads to me, okay? And I think the tactic is kind of played out and tired at this point. And how ironic that the main rap bitch who loves to talk about and promote female rap unity is still, not really unified with all the rap girls. Because in reality, female rap unity doesn't really exist. It's supposed to be competitive. It's a sport. It's rap. That fake ass propaganda was started to use against Nicki Minaj, who they wanted to leave out the quote unquote female rap unity because they mad she is dubbed the queen of rap when they want that title. Let's keep it a buck. They want that title. Now, another thing that was mentioned in this messy ass interview was the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez trial. So this is what Reminisce had to say about that.
Hashtag protect black women. Is it a real thing? Because everybody be talking about the black queens, but I feel like when Meg and that whole Tory thing went down, nobody was really standing up for her.
I mean, the thing with that is nobody knew the truth.
I don't think nobody still knows the truth.
They don't, but I'm saying it's hard. You can't tell somebody to protect somebody when they, just because one if she was lying.
But we knew she got shot.
Yeah, I'm just saying for the people, like, I stay out of people's business if I don't know what's going on. If I don't know if it's true or not, I stay out of the way.
I hate Remy so much. Why are you looking at me? You don't think Meg got shot?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not in the space to talk about anybody getting shot.
Well, you don't know because you want to know, right?
she ain't seen the paperwork.
So let me know what you think about it. Personally, I feel like a lot of people feel that way, if I'm being honest. I feel like the outcome of that trial left me having more questions than answers, and I was not convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that Tory intentionally shot Meg or even shot her at all, because she really didn't have a quote, she didn't have actually a bullet wound. It was bullet fragments. So if anything, I feel like Kelsey was more guilty than Tory. And it's no secret that there was plenty of contradictions from the witnesses on the stand, including Kelsey, Megan, and even Sean Kelly. I think the only honest witness on the whole trial was EJ. So I don't think there was anything wrong with what Remy said. However, I don't know if it was the smartest thing for her to go and say on the record. She didn't outright say Megan lied, but she didn't outright say she believed Megan was telling the truth. All she said was that she wasn't there, which is a testament to how she really feels about that case. Now, people can fake act like Megan's testimony was reliable and accurate and was truthful all they want, but a person who paid attention to the facts of the case know that it's not true. Megan definitely has some contradictions that I think don't put her in the best of light, which is why I feel like she has been off the scene since the conclusion of that trial. So let me know how you feel about this messy ass interview. Like I said, I personally feel like Jason was only bringing up topics in relation to Nicki Minaj to get traction because his name don't ring bells and ain't nobody checking for Jason Lee messy ass because he's just so damn messy and he ain't never genuine with anybody he interviews, in my most humble opinion. And the fact that he exposed the fact once again he be getting the girls in these group chats to mumble and cackle about the queen is very telling. Okay, and I think it's ridiculous. Telling to how these girls be setting themselves up to fail to me. Didn't Jason Lee expose the fact that he got Cardi and JT in a group chat after they had gotten into it on Twitter? Didn't he also expose the fact that he tried to get Rihanna in the group chat with Cardi to discuss a possible collaboration, which didn't work? Now he exposing the fact that Remy was also in these group chats with him and Cardi, which is not surprising, but still. So this just goes to show me, for one, that Onika Tanya is a literal obsession. And two, the impact and chokehold she has on this rap game has these hoes pressed and bothered to the point where they feel like their last hope is to team up against a bitch or with a bitch that they don't like. But even if 5 of these, hoes teamed up against each other, it still wouldn't really be enough to take down Onika, because 5 of these rap hoes together don't have a fan base like Nicki Minaj, and that's just the facts of life. So let me know your thoughts on that below. Now, the next topic I want to slide into real quick is Flo Milli, because if you didn't know, she did drop a song called Nasty Dancer on Friday. So let me know what you thought about it if you heard it. I took a listen to it, and I thought the song was cute. I thought the chorus was cute, I thought the beat was lit, and I think it's an overall cute song. However, the thing about Flo Milli is it's either going to be a hard yes or a hard no, okay? Sometimes it's going to be an but, it's either a yes or no. And to a lot of people, Flo Milli does have a childish sound about her, okay? Even though high-key she be having bars, her voice is a little bit high-pitched, and I can see where people, kind of take it to be a little bit childish. But compared to a lot of these other mainstream rap girls, I feel like Flo Milli is more talented than a lot of them. Her sound just isn't for everybody, and that's okay. However, that should not take away from her talent by any means, because I'd rather listen to Flo Milli than a lot of these other rap hoes any day of the week, okay? With that being said, I feel like if Flo Milli was to mature up her sound just a little bit, it could expand her audience. Because the issue with Flo Milli now is a lot of her fans seem to be kids or teenagers. And, hell, she only like 21, 22 herself, so it's understandable. And if that's her target audience, then, hey, there's not really nothing to change up if that's the demographic she's going for. But she can't expect to grow as an artist by not evolving and catering to one type of audience. However, I find Flo Milli to be hella talented and dope, and I just don't think she's getting the proper push and backing put into her career like the other rap artists on the same label as her, such as Doja Cat and Latto. But let me know your thoughts on that topic below. But me, I am here to see Flo Milli win. Now, the next topic I want to get into is Belcalis, okay? So Cardi B got recognized for Black History Month, even though ain't shit black about Cardi but the dick she takes, okay? So the RIAA, the Recording Industry Association of America, they recognized Cardi B in honor of Black history as the first female rapper to earn 11-time platinum certifications for her records I Like It and Bodak Yellow, okay? Now, though the 11-time platinum certifications may be on point or whatever, she should not be highlighted as the first Black woman or rapper to do this, because sis is not Black, okay? She is a Latina. And no, Cardi is not an Afro-Latina. Argue with the goddamn wall, okay? Neither one of Cardi's parents is a monoracial Black person. Not her mama, not her daddy, okay? Now, her mama may be mixed in some ways, but that is not a monoracial Black woman by any means. Let's not play Stevie Wonder to the bullshit, Like I said, ain't shit Black about Cardi but the dick she be taking, okay? And here y'all go letting this girl say nigga this, nigga that every 5 seconds when she already admitted she can't stop and won't stop because it's not part of her vocabulary, okay? So shit like this is why I think Black folks will never really progress in this country. We too busy focused on the bullshit that don't matter and tearing one another down. We don't want to call out the hypocrisy and appropriation. But I saw a TikTok that put it better than anyone I could really see putting it together. And this is what the TikToker had said.
Cardi B's career definitely rose up for being the stereotypical black woman. You all called her relatable and funny. And y'all accepted this woman when she's not even Black. And before y'all say she's Afro-Latina, let me tell you the definition of race, ethnicity, nationality, phenotypes, and genotypes. Because it's clear y'all still don't know the difference. Your nationality is where you were born. Your ethnicity is your ethnic background. And your race is your skin color, which also goes hand in hand with your phenotype, which is your observable traits. Cardi's nationality is American since she was born in New York. Since her parents are Dominican and Trinidadian, that is her ethnic background. Now, having a Dominican ethnic background does not equate to being Black. Because as we know, the Dominican Republic has a lot of people with European heritage, Chinese heritage, Native heritage. And that's the same thing that goes for Trinidad. And if you look at both of her parents, they are white Latinas. Her mother and her father definitely carry a lot of European DNA. So when we look at the definition of Afro-Latina, it just means that you are a Black person born in a Latin country. Or a Black person with a Latin background. Cardi B's phenotype is not Black. She actually did not consider herself black her entire life until it was time for her to win BET Awards and say the N-word. And this is why I don't play the DNA games and the one drop rule. It allows a lot of non-black people to claim their blackness when it's convenient, like Cardi B did. At most, you could say she's racially ambiguous, but even then, we all know racially ambiguous women do not get treated the same as women with a black phenotype. Even Meghan Markle has said this herself. Cardi B is colorist. She has called dark-skinned women roaches before. She literally paid men to beat up black women because her husband couldn't keep his dick in his pants. And y'all still made it an aesthetic and praised her for it. Cardi B's career definitely rose up for being the stereotypical black.
Baby girl said a word. Do you hear me? Okay. And that's what I have been saying for the longest. I've been trying to tell people it's the difference between your race, your ethnicity, and your nationality. And they can all be different. And people still don't know the goddamn difference. Speaking of nationality, don't Cardi B claim to be half Trini? How come she ain't ever at the Trini and Tobago Carnivals? Okay. Where's she at this weekend? Okay. How come she ain't ever repping Trinidad, but she quick to rep the DR? I just think it's interesting. Okay. Now, speaking of Cardi, she did an interview where she let it be known that her new music is coming. So let me know what you think about it. You know, is it what you here for? Because, you know, she got it coming. So this is what the interview had said, or the interviewer had said. They said, let's talk music. Cardi, you done such a great job of hopping on singles and supporting rising women rappers over the last few years. But your last full project was a while ago now. What are you working on with in terms of new music? To which Cardi replied and said, it's coming. We both coming. And then the interview then asked her, is there anything else you want to say about your new chapter? To which Cardi responded, I'm excited for it. I'm coming hard. Well, baby, hopefully you coming harder than hot shit, because that was a hot mess, including that Roman remix you tried to release the hot shit, okay? And you had the nerve to turn around and cuss your fans out for sharing it because people was, you know, talking cash money shit about that hot garbage, okay? Now, I really do hope for Cardi's sake that she can get back out the on the music scene and get support for the second album like she did for the first, because Cardi's hype and demand has seemed to decrease substantially. I mean, baby girl hopped on like 5 or 6 remixes, okay, last year after letting it be known at one point that she don't even hop on songs that's been out for 4 or 5 months. But you did all 2022, babe, so make that make sense for me, please. I think the only reason Cardi be jumping on the new girls' tracks and riding their wave so much is because her wave has now turned into Ripple's, bitch. She ain't making as much noise as she was 3 or 4 years ago. She out here doing hostings at clubs and hopping on remixes and talking about new music but not dropping any new music, okay? So let me know your thoughts on that below. Now, the next topic I want to get into real quick is Latte Frappuccino ass. Okay, so Latto dropped her new song, Lottery, on Friday, and it features an artist by the name of Lakula, I want to say is her name. But she sounds very sonically similar to Miley Cyrus, which is who a lot of people originally thought was on the song, including myself, I ain't gonna lie. Now, when it comes down to the song, I heard the leak on Twitter before it even came out on Friday. And like I said before, it's very sonically similar to Doja Cat's Say So. And like I even said, even Sweetie's and Hers Closer record they did, but that record that they did even sounded like Doja Cat Say So. So I think Latte saw what worked for Doja in 2019, which Doja Cat was inspired by Onika with that whole album she did. So when all that comes into play, when it comes down to it, all of these hoes taking a Nicki route, okay? But the thing is, Nicki found success in the rap and pop lanes. These girls look down on the pop shit till the rap shit don't pop off, and then they go study the Nicki come up and go mimic that. My thing is, though, how is it that this song isn't on any major charts, but is getting plenty of radio play? They just don't even be trying to hide the payola no more, do they? Okay. Because how is it the greatest gainer on overall U.S. radio, but ain't on no Spotify chart, Apple Music, iTunes, Shazam, not nothing, bitch? So I find that to be a little bit interesting. And it's not about being chart obsessed, you know, but she's the one who claimed that she was also flourishing when she dropped a good 4, 5, 6 songs in the past 6 months and haven't got one to stick or make any noise that she was anticipating for, like she did with Big Energy. So I'm sure this song will do fine on pop radio, as I'm sure that was her intention, as well as her labels. However, it's definitely not something I will be streaming or have streamed. If I want to listen to something like that, I'll just listen to Say So, the remix at that. Now, there was a point in the song where I noticed Latte said, play him like a scratch off if you get this lucky or some shit to that effect. The main point being she mentioned the word scratch off. And if you remember back when Nicki and Latte got into it a few months ago, Nicki did call Latte scratch off. So I guess Latte called herself trying to flip it in a way, but either way it go, she clearly knows her name that her mother gave her, okay? She knows she scratch off. She just continuing to let Nicki sun her ass more and more, child, okay? Now, speaking of Latte, people are also calling her out because it was made aware to many that Dr. Luke produced this record, Lottery. And if you don't know about Dr. Luke, he was accused of sexually assaulting the singer Kesha, you know, the TikTok girl. Now, Dr. Luke also produced Big Energy and has worked with other female artists, you know, such as Sweetie, Doja, and even Nicki Minaj. However, the difference is they didn't pretend to be fake advocates for victims of domestic violence. They weren't caught being hypocrites, to say the least. See, Latte has so much to say about Kenneth Petty and who Nicki Minaj chose to marry and who she's related to, but over here working with producers accused of raping a woman. On top of that, she worked with Kodak, who was also accused of the same thing. So it's the fact that she only threw that jab to be an evil bitch because she could care less about these niggas assaulting these women for real. She want to work with men that's been linked to either sexual assault or abuse, and she don't make a peep about that. Anyway, I will be interested to see where this record is sitting on Billboard next week. I'm sure it will appear somewhere at least in the 80s or 70s, okay, low 90s if anywhere else, because it is the overall biggest gainer on the radio in the US, which means she is getting plenty of radio play that her label is putting towards this song, especially on pop radio. So let me know your thoughts on that below. Now, the next topic I want to get into is Iggy Azalea, child. So a few days ago, it was reported that Playboy Cardi had got arrested after the news had broke that he had assaulted his pregnant girlfriend, which, no surprise there. But clearly this was a surprise for Iggy because she had some things to tweet, and this is what she had said. What the hell did I log into tonight? Been there, done that, warned you. Imagine having a pregnant girlfriend and pretending they don't exist until it comes out you like to abuse them too. And rarely visiting your actual son unless you're running from whatever problems you got going on in Atlanta and the press with your serial abuse of women. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I get bitter energy from these tweets that Iggy put out. And I can't say it's not without cause because it is, but it's definitely unnecessary in this instance, and I'm going to tell you why. First off, to say been there, done that, warned you when a woman, a pregnant woman at that, has just been assaulted and the status of her injuries is not really known, I don't think it garnered that type of response, especially not a public one. A woman being assaulted by your ex/baby daddy shouldn't warrant that type of response, and I don't care what the status of the relationship is between you and your BD or you and this new chick. Clearly, Iggy feels some type of way about it. Now, I understand being frustrated with him not doing what he needs to do as a father and not taking responsibility for his child. I get being frustrated on that part. But that is an issue you need to take up with your baby father. And if that don't work, you need to go take that up with the court of the law over whatever county you living in, baby, and get that child support paperwork started if you haven't already. Do you hear me? Okay? I don't know why these non-black women be so quick to get pregnant by these niggas and think that they coochie is susceptible to a not shit ass nigga. This goes to further prove the point of a nigga always gonna be a nigga no matter what bitch he with, okay? And this isn't directly towards Iggy. I'm just speaking in general at this point, but a lot of these non-black women feel as if they are the prize and that their coochie is susceptible to these not shit niggas, okay? Which, you know, I just feel like in the end, it leaves them looking slow, stupid, and retarded when they get treated the exact same way, if not worse, than what a black man would treat a black woman. They getting turned into baby mamas, okay, at an alarming rate. Okay, they getting treated like a not shit nigga would treat a bitch. Okay, so I wasn't feeling that slick ass comment Iggy made, and I found it to be unnecessary. And, you know, but I understand it was probably out of a place of frustration. But a woman being abused is not something you should throw back in her face at any time. That's not cool to me. Now, speaking of Iggy, she did tease a new song while she was advertising her OnlyFans content, and a lot of people had mixed thoughts on it. So take a listen.
Bitch got money, she don't need no come up. I'm riding downtown, bitches are pop down. I've been still balling, you bitches are out of bounds. I'm in this.
Now, upon hearing this snippet, the first thing that I noticed off top is Iggy's voice sounded kind of different, like a little deeper and a little bit more raspier. You know, low-key, she sounded like a different rapper for a minute. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like the new sound. I think if she promotes this the right way with this new era, I think that sound can kind of work for her. The thing is, it just seems like another forced accent to me, because I never thought Iggy's original accent, her rapping voice, I never thought that was, you know, real. Nevertheless, one thing that I think can work despite it not really being genuine, like I said, is this little thing she got going on, this little new raspiness, deepness about her voice, okay? Because, you know, a good 6 months ago, Iggy was not sounding like this, okay, at all. But I understand this is a new era, and she is probably wanting to move towards a new sound and probably even a new look. You know, the girls, they like to experiment in different eras now. So let me know if you are feeling the new sound or not. Now, the next topic I want to get into is Nicki Minaj. So the queen is coming, and she also confirmed it herself via the IG comments when someone asked how soon she would be returning, because, you know, we miss her, and she said very soon. So the queen is about to come back and shake the table, baby. Do you hear me? On top of that, an A&R guy over at Epic Records basically teased the comeback of the queen of rap, and this is what he had to say. Just got off the phone with my sister, Nicki Minaj. This move is about to be so big for Queens. We bringing it back to the drawing board. Call Web, then call Nitty, niggas, and it's all hoodies. So let me know what you think about that down below, because I'm going to tell you my thoughts for sure. I think niggas need to be quiet and move in silence. It's nice to know she coming, but, you know, I pretty much got those vibes anyway by her interacting online with her fans the past few days, the way she has been, particularly on YouTube and TikTok, okay? He probably had no ill intentions, you know, but these rap girls be waiting for anything as it pertains to Onika. They be looking for anything, breadcrumbs, okay? And I feel like this was a breadcrumb for these bird-ass hoes. I don't want Nicki to release nothing that is related to the 15 thing, so these hoes drop and flop and going about their business, because what they waiting on is for Nicki to drop, see what she gonna do well on per usual, and take notes and see what sounds and looks and visuals work for her and see if it can work for them. Now, Nicki has also been posting quite a bit of throwback clips on her IG stories. And, you know, a lot of people feel like she was, you know, hinting at getting back to the basics, especially when you take into consideration what the A&R guy over at Epic Records had to say. So it got a lot of people talking and believing Nicki will be returning from her hiatus soon. And, child, I think just about everybody is here for that, because every time she take a break, the game do get a little bit boring, okay? The only mainstream rap girl really holding it down right now is Hot Spice. And then another rap girl who is being consistent, that I think is being consistent, like I said, is Flo Milli. She just don't get it as a big of a push compared to the other girls do, because she's a pretty brown round with talent, and the industry is a colorist ass, okay? Anyway, while Nicki was posting to her IG stories and taking trips down memory lane, fans noticed one of the throwback videos she posted was a 21 Savage singing along to her lyrics, okay? Now, if you're not caught up to speed with that information, it's no secret that 21 is Latto's mystery man, that she wants us to believe she wants to remain under wraps so bad, but talks about their relationship every time she get, baby, do you hear me? So y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Like I said, y'all know Nicki's last name is not Petty for no reason, because my sis puts the P in petty. If you are wondering why she chose to get petty, well, I got a pretty good reason that I believe. So if you ain't know, Latte Frappuccino dropped her song Lottery on Friday, like we already talked about. And one of the lines in the record, she said, play him like a scratch off if you get this lucky, or if you feeling lucky, I don't know, some shit like that. Point is, she acknowledged her name given to her by her mother, Onika, and that is scratch off, which Nicki did get from a YouTuber, T.H. Miracle, okay? So I guess she was trying to reverse the origin of the name, but babe, you acknowledged your name, so now we are all aware and in agreement that you're scratch off, or Latte Frappuccino, word Kodak. But I mean, Latte played herself. Like I said last week, she might as well go ahead and apologize, because baby can't seem to pick her career up off the floor she flourishing on. So hopefully this song will do what she wanted to do, because I don't see nothing else really working for Latte Frappuccino at this time. But to end this topic on a positive note, let's take a moment to recognize how fine Onika Tanya looks in these photos, y'all. She was in Trinidad this weekend because the carnival started this week, and the queen is, you know, always celebrating her roots and culture. So for those who live under a rock, that is her ethnic background, and she was outside, and she seemed to have a good time. And to all you hating ass hoes who always got something to say about Onika, just hope your fave looks this good at 40 and can still remain musically relevant, okay? Let me know your thoughts on that below. So the last topic I want to get into is the city bops, aka the city girls. So Carisha announced the other day via Twitter that the City Girls is coming, baby. Do you hear me? So let me know if you are anticipating their return. So this is what Carisha had to say. I'm a city girl, and city girls are coming. So let me know how you feel about it, because I personally did not flinch at that news, nor did I know anyone else who really shifted in their seat, baby, okay? However, I think it's interesting how after a week, JT does an interview with Angie Martinez and expresses her thoughts and feelings about the future of the City Girls, and, you know, talked about how she hopes the ending of their dynamic duo doesn't come to an end because of niggas or anything like that. All of a sudden, we get these tweets and shit from Carisha that the City Girls are coming and that she's still a City Girl, okay? Now, Carisha has been off into other things and hasn't really been focused on the music like JT. JT been in the studio. Carisha been out here booked and busy with acting jobs and hosting Carisha Please and finding the next guest for it. But then after JT goes on record and lets her true feelings be known, it kind of put Carisha on blast in a way, because what it came across as is JT still about the music and worried about the future of the City Girls, because from the looks of it, Carisha has already moved on to the next phase in her career when JT really brought aboard Carisha to the City Girls, okay? Carisha already talked about not wanting to really rap anymore. So I think this was Carisha's way of getting the City Girl fans to feel as if there is still some type of hope and future for the City Girls. But in reality, I really do believe they are on their last leg as a group. You know, I feel like JT will be gearing up to go solo soon, and Carisha will continue to host Carisha Please and get booked for minor acting roles because she can't act for real. That's what their future really looks like to me. Because if they so gung-ho on staying a group and maintaining the duoship, they need to go ahead and get on one accord, because I feel like they are being pulled in two different directions, and that's why there seems to be some distance between the two, no matter how much they try to fake and front like shit is gravy for the camera. But honestly, if they just revamp their sound and add a little bit more maturity to it, since they are both 29 and 30, I think it's time to shift a bit more towards a grown woman's approach to their music instead of being so kind of one-dimensional and childish. You know, because there's only so much of getting tricked by a nigga you can talk about before people get bored, because, you know, people these days have, you know, an attention span of a toddler, baby. Do you hear me? So let me know your thoughts on that below. So remember, this is my commentary and my opinion. You can let me know yours below. I look forward to reading your thoughts. Baby, don't forget to give this video that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, especially if you stayed here to the end. And lounge with your girl on Instagram and Twitter at Southern Tea. That is Southern Tea with 2 A's at the end. I will see y'all in my next video.